I've been trying to find the words to accurately describe how I'm feeling about this team, this game, and everything in between. And no, I'm not just going to yell and scream like I did last week. You all know what happened. We got ran out of our own building. We got absolutely dominated, teeth kicked in, and there's really nothing else to say. I'm not just going to be here to yell and scream about what happened, because that doesn't do anything for anyone, doesn't make me feel better, doesn't make you feel better. I blew up my voice, I think, twice yesterday. I was in a bad mood all day. So I took some time to gather my thoughts. You're still getting an honest, raw reaction, but here's my honest thoughts on this team going forward. Now, there will still be some minor yelling, but it's just where we are now. So can someone explain to me how a team that fired their head coach the week of the game, we got notification during Monday Night Football, we're all trying to watch the Colts and the Ravens, and we get notifications that John Gruden's been fired, or he resigned, but it's kind of a formal firing, because of an email list so long that Hillary Clinton would break out in hives reading it. Team that is promoting a special teams coach that has never been a coach before. A team has suffered some starter injuries, and they come into our home on the day we are commemorating Mike Shanahan, the man who pretty much buried the Raiders every time he played them, and we get run out of our own building. Someone explain to me how that happens. How you get run out of your building by a team and you get out-coached by a team with no head coach. That is the epitome of an embarrassing performance. And it is, if not the most embarrassing, it is definitely one of the most, if not the absolute most embarrassing loss of Vic Fangio's era. And the writing's on the wall at this point. We know he's going to get fired. You want to know what's a damning statement? Read this statement right here. From Benjamin Albright, saying that from personal conversations that he's had, this coaching staff is losing the locker room, or they've already lost them. That's it. That's the statement. That's when you know we're done. That's when you know it's done. When the coaching staff, when the message has run stale and it's not resonating, that is when you know that it's done. We're done. We're cleaning house. Call the cleaning lady and let's get this thing going. You know what's the best way to describe this Broncos offense under Pat Shurmur? I used to own a 93 Buick LeSabre. Yeah, real old car. And to those of you who have owned cars like that, you know this. They are tough and sturdy, but they are awful in the heat. In July, they break down constantly. You can't even run the AC without the thing overheating. That's what this offense is like. You start out nice and smooth, you're looking good, and you're like, oh wow, maybe we'll get through it. And then just when you're about to turn on the AC, because it's 90 degrees in Colorado, it's July, and you're sweating bullets, turn on the AC, it dies. And you're stuck on the highway saying, why, oh why did I do this? Why didn't I just stay home and not do anything today? That's because you trusted the stupid old man car dealer named Pat Shurmur who said, this is good car. Trust me. You want this car. This is a good car. You should trust me. Really? Because there's a reputation, the cars you sold me in the past haven't been great, and the last one you sold me really didn't work that great. You sure this one's okay? Yes, I promise it's a good car. Trust me, you're going to want this car. This is a good price. Take the car! And then when you're sitting there in your heat box of a car on the middle of the highway, and you're just hoping to God that the tow truck isn't that far away, you are saying to yourself, why did I trust that stupid car dealer? That is what this offense is like under Pat Shurmur. Look, okay, I'm not just going to yell the whole time. We're here to have a real conversation at this point. I think it is time to discuss the possibility of making some deadline moves. I'm talking anyone with an expiring contract, start taking some calls. Kareem Jackson, Kyle Fuller. We just lost A.J. Johnson for the season, though he's on an expiring deal. I don't know if he'll come back. I mean, he's kind of hit and miss. Jewel, I know he's on an expiring contract. I know his season's pretty much done. Glasgow, I think, might be gone after this year. I think we're going to see a deep overhaul of this roster. Yes, it might suck to admit that, but it is time to admit that maybe it's time to look at a deeper look at this roster. And it might be time to start making some changes. Younger guys start getting more playing time. I think Ojemudia, when he gets back, when he's active, he'll get more playing time. Pat Surtain, Caden Stearns, some of the younger guys that we drafted, Baron Browning, definitely Jonathan Cooper. I think it is time to start looking. We have a lot of really good young players that we've drafted over the last few years. Make that your future core. It's time to start maybe looking at this team a different way than we've been looking at it. And yes, I know it'll suck if Von Miller leaves, and I know that'll be bad, and I will forever love and cherish what he did here. But I think it is time to admit that this team maybe just isn't good enough. Yes, the coaching is terrible, and yes, this staff needs to go like yesterday, but I do think it is time to admit that maybe this team as a whole just needs a bit of a deeper look. And let's stop acting like Aaron Rodgers would have saved this thing. I think, yes, the coaching is bad. I think there is deeper holes, however, in this staff than we're probably willing to admit. I think there's deeper holes in the roster than we probably see at the time. I mean, the secondary got gashed yesterday. The run defense was absolutely awful. And that could be Fangio, that could be the guys, but the body language yesterday told me that this team just has no pride. They're out on this staff. And if what Albright has said is true, then we're really in deep trouble. I think a very telling statement comes from Chad Brown when he tweeted out that he feels bad that he picked this team to lose and he picked against them, but he expected it, and unfortunately that's where I was yesterday. Even when we had that one good drive, I said to myself, that'll be like the one good drive they have all game. And naturally it was. It had they had that one good drive and then they completely stall out. Everything goes wrong. It's hard to admit this team it is what it is. We're in a bad situation, and I think we're going to see some younger guys start playing soon. As for quarterback, Teddy didn't play good yesterday. I mean, he threw 2 bad picks, and he had a bad fumble turnover. It's not all his fault, obviously. I've said that before. I think Drew Lock will get playing time this year, but just to say, let's just see what he is. Let's see, do we have trade value, maybe something to build around? I don't know. I mean, we know we're going to veto the staff. We're going to jettison them anyway, and I don't want Locke or Teddy to play because I like them both, and I'm like, I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want them to fail. I want them to just, stay. I want them to, stay safe, and I'd rather honestly just play ripping and tank the season. I mean, I'm kind of on the tank brigade right now. I'm kind of looking at the draft. I know there's some things to look at, but, oh boy. This is just where I am right now. You guys might feel differently. Oh, man. It just is frustrating to see that we make the same mistakes every single week. It's why I was never fully bought in on this staff. They haven't evolved. They haven't changed. And frankly, I think it is time to have a deeper look at this team. Maybe start looking at some of these younger guys to build around. We have some young studs that are ready to play. I say build around them. Definitely relook at some changes on the offensive line. I don't know what's going on with them this year, but look at some changes on the line to come. I think that needs to happen. Not in terms of benching Bowles or anything, but I definitely think right guard needs to be addressed absolutely, and tackle is kind of up in the air as well. Not saying that Bowles played good. He did not play good yesterday. Nobody on the line played good. I don't know what's going on with that offensive line. The fact that now that 3-0 looks so absolutely fraudulent, and it looks like they're stuck in a rut, they don't know how to get out. I mean, they face the Browns next week, and I know the Browns didn't look great last game, but now watch. They'll probably give up 150 yards rushing. Baker will throw 4 touchdowns and 300 yards because I fully expect that at this point. For people saying, oh, you're being negative, I mean, we're playing another game in 4 days. We couldn't fix our issues in a week. How do you expect to fix them in 4 days? On the road, no less. This team needs a lot of fixing, and it's going to take a while to dig them out of it. It's going to take a while before this team is at all ready to move anywhere. And unfortunately, it's just where we are. Am I mad? Yes. Very. Disappointed? Extremely. Surprised? Unfortunately, not entirely. This is just where we are right now. Not a long recap, but I don't have that much to say. You all saw the game. You all saw what happened. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm wearing an Avalanche shirt because I want to be reminded of what a good coach and good team looks like. Which, by the way, I'm going to bring that up real quick. That should show you what a great team. Those are 2 examples of what good teams look like. Look at the Avalanche. Injuries across the board. They're missing some of their best players. And their mentality, find a way. We're missing a bunch of guys, and we have a bunch of minor league guys come up to play the bottom 6. Find a way. Backup goaltenders in. Find a way to win. We got to score 6 goals. Find a way. Jared Bednar's mentality, find a way. Win the game. That's Jared Bednar's mentality. You're injured, find a way to win. Don't roll over. Don't use injuries as an excuse. Win. Find a way. A big reason that the Colorado Avalanche are so successful, they have buy-in from everyone. Everyone's bought in on that team. Not just McKinnon, not Rantanen, Landeskog. Everyone's bought in on that roster. They believe in Jared Bednar. They believe in each other. This team doesn't. The Broncos don't. And until they do, this is what we're getting. It's not the reality we want, but it's what we have. Wish it was different, but it isn't. At least we have the Avalanche and the Nuggets. Oh boy. Thursday night's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. That's it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know it wasn't quite the rant you were hoping for, but I'm all yelled out at this point. I yelled all day yesterday. Anyways, that's it for me. Hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.